Hey there, it's Laura Trotter from lauratrotter.com, and happy Friday. It's early Friday afternoon here in South Australia where I live, and I've decided to show up a little bit more on live to you because I love chatting with you, and to be honest, talking is a whole lot easier than typing. So I wanted to pop in probably every Friday now to just chat with you and do a little demo or whatever I'm doing around my home to live a little bit more sustainably. To be honest, Thursdays and Fridays are when I tend to catch up in my home on a few odd jobs, and I thought I'll just share what I'm up to and see if it's of value to you. So basically today I just want to show you very quickly how I make my own stock or bone broth, and it's so easy to make yourself. It is so quick. So in a nutshell, I just want to say, why do you want to make your own stocks and bone broths? And basically there's so many reasons, but one, first of all, it's super duper healthy for you, making your own stocks out of bones that you've already cooked and stuff and used. You can extract a lot of the minerals from the bones, and it's really good at nourishing your gut health. And there's a lot of studies out there now that are indicating that our gut, so many modern diseases are linked to our gut health. So by making our own stock that's really bone broths that are really dense in minerals, and a lot of things like gelatin and stuff like that, that's also good for our joints and bones. It's fantastic to make yourself. It's also very easy. Number two, you can basically cut down on a lot of waste from your home because you're giving another life to like some offcuts from vegetables and things that I tend to put in my bone broths and vegetable stocks. You also don't have the waste of buying a lot of containers, and you also don't have a lot of the additives that are in a lot of store-bought stocks, whether it be those powdered ones that are really high in salt and preservatives, including things like MSG, monosodium glutamate, or even the liquid ones that have a lot of, a few preservatives and things added as well. So it is super easy to make your own, very cheap as well, and I'm just going to show you how today. Basically, I grew up in a home where my mum always made her own stocks and bone broths. It was just the way that my mum had been raised and what she'd always done. I guess I'd come from a long line of Irish heritage where soups and casseroles are on the menu all the time, and they turn their roast dinners into stocks, into soups, into casseroles and everything like that. So it's just all the way, I guess, what I've grown up doing. Saying that, when I left home at 17 and I went to uni, I didn't make my own for a while because it was at that time in the mid-90s where all those Tetra packs of liquid stocks came on the market, and I thought, awesome, easy, super convenient, I'll just grab them instead. But again, they're really high in salt, and you've got the waste of the container, and then I think you're still paying $3 or $4 a litre, which, when you drink and eat soups like I do, yeah, they can add up. So I see we've got quite a few live on the call today. So just let me know where you're listening in from, and also tell me if you do make your own stocks or bone broths as well. I'd love to just chat, and let's make this a little bit more social as opposed to me just staring into the camera and talking to you. So let me know where you're listening from. That would be awesome. But first of all, how do I make it? I make mine in my slow cooker. You don't need to go out and rush and buy anything specific. I make it in the slow cooker. I've also made it heaps in a big stock pot on my stove, but I like the slow cooker because I can just put it on super low. It's not going to boil over, and I basically cook it overnight. I usually would set this up late in the afternoon and have it going overnight, and I'll usually bottle it around about lunchtime the next day. But today I thought I'd make the most of the best light in my kitchen and do it this afternoon. So this will be on for almost 24 hours, but you do need it to be on low for a long time if you're using bones to get the goodness out of the bones. Now, saying that, if there's any vegetarians or vegans listening today, I do make my own vegetable stocks as well, and I'll pop a link to an article on my blog where I've got a recipe for how you can make your own, so you can get off buying those Tetra packed vegetable stocks or those salt and MSG ridden ones out of the powder as well. So yeah, if you've just jumped on the call, let me know where you're tuning in from, and also if you do make your own stocks and bone broths. So first ingredient, I just put a whole onion in, and skins and all. You're not going to be able to see me chopping just from the way the camera, so I just generally just cut it in half and pop it in my stock pot. I throw a couple of carrots in. You can pop them in whole or just again cut them up in half. That goes in the pot. When I'm eating a lot of broccoli, I mean, if I'm making stir fries and things like that, I always slice the stalks up into nice little thin strips and add them to the stir fry. Broccoli is great like that. It absorbs all the flavors, but I still get an abundance of stalks. I just don't eat a lot of stir fries, I guess. I eat more soups and casseroles and things. So I just put my stalks in whole as well. Basically any vegetable scraps, like if you're trimming beans, you can put those little bits of the beans in. Anything that you've got lying around, shells of garlic, the more the merrier. So I put my veggies in there. And then what I do is I save up my bones. So for example, if you've got, and I put them in a big bag in the freezer. You can have a big container. So these are from lamb cutlets. But yeah, this is mainly lamb bones today and a few chicken ones. I'm just making a mixed bone broth. So I've got some chicken bones and lamb ones. So I just pop them in a big container. You can see they've just all frozen together. Nice big batch of bones. So that just goes in there as well. Popping it all in the pot. So I've just got some vegetables and my bones. Really, really simple. All I do now is I will top that up with water, and now I'm going to add the secret ingredient, which I'm going to tell you about in a minute. And you still haven't told me where you're tuning in from, so be sure to let me know. I'm just going to have to squash down because I'm over at my sink now. I'll just pour some water in, just lift it so you can, I just basically pour the water on the top. Let's make that go a bit faster, hey? Now, when I am making my own bone broth, I am obviously using bones that I've cooked in a roast or on a barbecue or in a general meal. But you can also just buy bones from your butcher. So I get my meat in bulk. Not that we eat a lot of meat in our family, but I do get it in bulk from Border Park Organics, which is an organic farm that uses regenerative farming practices in South Australia, and they sell big bags of beef bones as well. So you can also just get your bones in bulk from a great organic farm if you do. But yeah, otherwise I just save them up as, like I said, in that big bag in the freezer. So I don't know how I'm going to do this. I'm going to carry you over and carry my big pot of water as well. Let's hope I don't drop you. Nah, this is going to be weird. Sorry, I didn't think about the setup before I went over to the sink. So I've got my big pot of water. We're going to do this in bits. Joy of live video, hey? And you still haven't told me where you're in from. So let me know if you do make your own bone broths. What are your favourite bones to make it out of? What favourite vegetables? Type it in the chat. Now the secret ingredient, and this is apple cider vinegar. You want to get like an organic one that hasn't been filtered, so it's got the mother in it. And this is, again, awesome for your gut health. But it also, I add about 1/4 cup to my slow cooker. I don't know how many litres my slow cooker is. I think it's about 5 litres or so. But I add that to the pot as well. And the apple cider vinegar just helps to really slowly extract all those awesome minerals out of the bones. Looks like my smarty pants husband is making some jokes in the chat box. So just about 1/4 cup, but yeah, you can see I'm a bit of a bucket cook, so I know roughly what about 1/4 cup is. That might have been a little bit more, but yeah, apple cider vinegar. And then all you have to do is pop the lid on, plug it in, turn it on, and cook. Like I said, I just have it on low for a good 12 hours or so. Then I skim everything. I strain it. I toss the bones aside. I get all the vegetable scraps. Basically, all those vegetable scraps just go straight to our chickens, and they just get eaten. So there's, apart from the bones, which have already been used a couple of times by then, there's no waste. This makes a good 5 litres or so. That goes into my soups, my casseroles, anything like that. I bottle it up and I freeze it. So I can just pull it out as I need it. Freezes really well. And yeah, just always got homemade bone broth or stock on hand. So I will pop the link below where you can go over to the blog and get a written recipe for this. So I've got some chicken bone broth. There might be there's definitely a vegetable stock there as well. So you can make your own very easily. Thanks for tuning in. If you're really after any more tips on sustainable living, being a lot more self-sufficient, just head on over to lauratrotter.com or tune into my podcast on iTunes, which is Eco Chat with Laura Trotter. And I'm going to be popping up here every Friday just with a little simple tip to help you live a lot more sustainably and become a little bit more self-sufficient, create a healthier home. I'll catch you around. Bye.